It's a new year, but we are still on the first Friday of the month. Happy to welcome on and glad to welcome on our next guest. And it's someone who, when it comes to finances and everything happening in your financial space, no matter whether you're young or old, Mark Falter's the guy. Retirement Income Hour airs Saturdays and Sundays at 9 on KCMO. Mark, Happy New Year. Jobs reports out. What's your takeaway?
Hey, how are you doing, sir? It's good to have. Good to be on. Good to be on.
Always good to have you
I think
here.
it's still a strong job market out there for sure, and it's amazingly strong. You're right. The government has added a tremendous amount of jobs. Makes you wonder what they're getting ready for. It doesn't it? But job markets, and it's what's helped us keep from going into any worse of a recession than what I was really expecting a little bit. Of course, it's just the very beginning of 2024 yet, but it's been our saving grace at the jobs market.
But look at, so I just noted the 52,000 government jobs in December. And here's an interesting tidbit from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The government added an average of 56,000 jobs per month in 2023. That's more than double the average monthly gain of 23,000 in 2022. You alluded to something there. What are they gearing up for? Are they just trying to goose these employment numbers to get the perception that the economy is good, or are we just becoming too reliant on government in general for jobs and, frankly, everything else in our lives?
I don't think they're trying to goose the numbers. I really don't do that. I think we're becoming very reliant on, to say we're relying on the government. The government is really has been controlling the market for a while. And it really does make you wonder what they're gearing up for. It just we kind of hope they're not all going to work for the Internal Revenue Service. But they call for 87,000 when he really wanted to build it up, and it does make you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it'll be it'll be good for accountants and guys like you, I suppose. Not that we want that to happen, like you noted. So, what about the Fed now? The Fed, there's this assumption, there was at least late last year, that the Fed would start potentially cutting rates. Does another hot jobs report potentially put that on hold for Jerome Powell and company?
I think it does. Actually, if you check that just a month ago, there was 100, according to guesstimates, 100% chance of him cutting rates in March. Now it's down to 50-50. I don't think we're going to see it till summer. I don't want to say if we see it at all, because I do think there's a strong possibility we'll see it this year, but I don't think we'll see it in the early part of the year. Let's put it that way. It's a lot of these rate cuts have already kind of been baked into the market, and so I don't think we're going to see a rate cut in March. I really don't.
How shocked are you? You look back on last year, Mark, and the S&P was up 25%. Now it was driven in large part by a handful of big tech stocks that had a great year. But still, when you look back on last year and the incredible success of the markets after a bottoming out in 22, what do you make of the last 12 months and what we saw in the markets?
It is extremely surprising. It really is. I don't want to say it makes you wonder if we're getting ready or if it's a bubble is formulating, but it is amazingly surprising. I think what's amazing to me, I just still can't get over it, is the way certain things are selling. Like now, if you talk to somebody in the car business, they will tell you car sales have slowed down. But it doesn't seem like house sales have really slowed down that much, and it's like these interest rates really haven't made a dent. I think they have, and I think actually at the end of the day, the Fed could make me eat my words and pull off a soft landing here.
Yeah, but 25%, Mark. It's that was an unbelievable year. While, as you noted, and as we talked about throughout last year, people are making 5% in money markets with no risk. So even the people who are, everyone's making money, right? Over the last year, the whether it's in bonds, money markets, or stocks, it was a good year for most people, was it not?
It was a good year for most people, and that's what I've been telling people. If you are, 35, 45 years old, go keep on investing in the S&P. Actually, technically, I could give you an argument where you make more money when the market's down, long term. But if you're retired, now is a great time to consider reallocation, because you can come out of a market that's up into something that's still paying a decent yield. Because when was the last time we had the ability to make 4 or 5% on money that's liquid? It's been since the 80s, 90s. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's a good point. But the question now is, Mark Falter joining us on KCMO Saturday and Sunday mornings. here on 95.7 FM, Retirement Income Hour, Mid-America Wealth Advisory Group. Now the question is, can those approaching retirement, can they kick the stock success, the stock addiction, for lack of a better word, that they've enjoyed these last 15 years?
Can I think they should? Will they? I think they should.
Yes.
You know, here's the thing: whether the economy's up or whether the economy's down, sometimes you just got to kind of obey the rules of investing 101, the rule of 100. You take your age minus 100, and that's about how much you should have in the stock market. And P.S., that rule was created about the 1930s, 1940s, when they had the stock market crash and saw 90% of their investments disappear in a matter of a few months, few weeks. And I don't think we're set up for that type of crisis again. But you know, you don't want to continue to bet this thing and then get caught having to work another 3 to 4 years. Because you know, it's like I tell people: is the market going to have another 20 to 30% correction? I mean, at some point in the future, we all know it will. That's just what the market does. Will it happen in 2024? We don't know. Point is, it could. And if it could, do you really want to risk that in your portfolio? And that's one of the reasons why things, you know, it's not like before here a year or two ago, their choice was to reallocate it to something paying 0.2% and not even keep up with inflation. And now they can actually go make 5-6% on their money.
Yeah,
you know, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, no risk. All right, so you mentioned the Fed maybe slowing down its rate cut plans. You mentioned the summer. I know typically in election years, the Fed has been hesitant to do anything that perceives them as being political and helping either political party. How do you see an election year playing out when it comes to any potential interest rate cuts?
When I say how the election will play out, I think that, well, you know, yeah, technically it's not supposed to influence. It's very hard to believe that it doesn't, you know, and it's kind of like referees in a football game. We always blame it on the refs, but it is hard to it won't surprise me if the economy is actually doing relatively well at the end of 2024. And I did a show on this one time, and if a economy is going good, there hasn't been a major recession or depression or something like that during the president's term, there's like a 72 to 78% chance he will get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, so there's that.
Yeah,
so
there is that.
I think, yeah.
But
I think Biden's got a lot better chance than people think. I really do.
Oh, no, I agree. I think Biden's got a much better chance than these polls are showing right now for a multitude of reasons. But then the question becomes the stock market success of the last year, and how does that compare with still the fact that people are in records amounts of credit card debt? They can't keep up. Their lifestyles can't keep up due to still, inflation existing. Prices over the last 3 years are up anywhere from 15 to 20%, depending on what we're talking about here. That still has short and long-term ramifications on the economy. So it feels like one of these things where it's growing. The wealth gap is growing under this economy with this president. And while it's good for people who own homes and have investments, those trying to get ahead are not feeling that success right now. And what does that potentially mean for the economy and the markets?
Well, that's the bulk of the people. You know, that's really the bulk of the people. Now, if you get down far enough, there's not a lot of investments come out of that group. But in that middle group, that middle-class America, heck, they're feeling it. And you go to buy a car, you go buy anything, and it's more expensive. You know, you take a family with 3 children, you can't get out of a drive-through for under $15 to $20. So they feel it. And it's driving up credit card debt, and that's never going to be a good thing because that is ultimately how bubbles are formed. Mm-hmm. You know, you start getting over $10, $15, $20,000 in credit card debt, and if you're collectively both making $100,000, $120,000 a year, you probably won't get out from underneath that for a very long period of time. And so it's just a very, very good time to stay out of debt. Mm-hmm. And I've talked about this too, in the fact that you either love this type of environment or hate it, depending upon where you're at. Like if you're a retiree saving money, I'll give you, for instance, we've hired 2-3 people from the mortgage industry, and it's because right now is a tough time to sell a mortgage, and many people don't want them. However, people are coming into us wanting to review things and get it up to a 5-6% yield. So it's a flip side type thing. And when the economy goes the other direction, rates get cut, the mortgage guys will be refinancing like crazy. Mm-hmm. But you just don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the things. And the best thing to do is just really keep your own personal financial house in order. at all times.
Yeah, that is good advice as we wrap it up with Mark Falter. You'll hear him tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, Retirement Income Hour, Mid-America Wealth Advisory Group. We appreciate you, Mark. Have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks again, Pete.